Hi there, the bipolar lesbian here, and today I wanted to talk a little about anxiety and anxiety related issues. Um, in my life, I've had a lot of anxiety related issues. They've stemmed from a majority of problems over the years, whether it's related to trauma, whether it's related to just the mental illness aspect that I have, or anything else like that. However, I have a lot of anxiety in my life. I'm a very anxious person. Um, to counteract my anxiety, I do try to go to the gym and work out, get a little exercise in me. But exercise, meditation, deep breathing exercises, things like that, sometimes those aren't enough. And when those aren't enough, there are some options for you. Your doctor can decide what reasons that you need your anxiety for. I myself not only have anxiety, but I also am tachycardic thanks to a heart murmur. So I take medication for that. It's called propanolol, if you're familiar with that. It's a beta blocker, and what that does is stop my heart from doing that flippy, chest, flop feeling, that pain that shoots down your arm, if you ever get that from anxiety. That could just be a symptom alone of anxiety. However, mine was related also to a heart issue that I have. So I was put on a beta blocker to hopefully help out with that. And so far, 20 milligrams. Probably going to be upping the dose when I see my cardiologist coming up here soon. However, it's going semi-well so far. I take it. I feel a lot better. However, it's not always, what I need. I'm also on something that's a daily anxiety medication. It's called gabapentin. If you're familiar with that, it's also for treating nerve pain that I have in my back and my spinal cord. And that I take 3 times a day, 800 milligrams. It's a pretty high dose. Not as high as I've seen other people on it by any means, but at the same time, it's not the lowest you can go on this medication, and I do take it 3 times a day. And I'm also on another one for panic attacks, which are a whole nother ball game. If anyone who's ever had one will tell you, it's the uncontrollable shaking, the crying, the perhaps anger if it manifests in that way, but it is always in this moment of complete and utter breakdown of anything that you're feeling and anything that you're doing. It's just you can't handle anything anymore. You completely lose it and you're not yourself. And for moments like that, I take a medication called clozapam, also known as Klonopin. I just have the generic brands because that's what my insurance pays for. Not making a lot of money here. So those at least help. So I'm on 3 things right there just for anxiety alone. And I don't feel ashamed admitting to people my anxiety. This is honestly, hard enough to do on YouTube, talking about different issues and things like that, putting my face out there, getting feedback, things like that. I know that I speak in a very odd manner at times. I use a lot of ums and ands and things like that. A lot of the same words. I can stumble over things, stutter, and those are all, issues that I'm aware that I do. However, am I able to change my speech pattern? Probably as I get a little better, I'll be able to talk a little more smoothly. However, right now, I don't speak too smoothly. But I don't think I speak too badly either, which is amazing for me. I don't know if anybody read in my last description of video. I do have a little bit of palsy, which causes my lip and eye to droop on certain sides. It's on my right side. I believe I wrote it wrong in the description. I think I said left, like an idiot. But no, I have palsy on my right side, which causes my face to droop a bit. And which causes the speech issues. Maybe perhaps me, stuttering or murmuring at times. That's the reason behind that. But anyway, back to panic attacks. Panic attacks are the absolute worst, and it is so hard trying to describe it to anybody who hasn't felt one, especially when they tell you to just get over it, or perhaps just, stop having one. It's like telling you to smile when you're depressed. It's very frustrating because you wish you could just calm down. You wish you could stop that pounding heart, those racing thoughts, intrusive thoughts. Just, it's absolutely terrible, horrible, and it's not something you would wish on your worst enemy. And people that don't understand this are people that have never been through it. And I do not wish for them to have a panic attack by any means. However, I also wish they would understand a little more how debilitating it can be to have a panic attack, because not only is it this whole big ordeal that you go through and absolutely freak out over everything over. I remember one time I was set off on this complete and utter moment of hysterics because I was literally crying over a glass of spilled milk. And I can just remember spilling the milk and just losing my shit over it. And no reason at all. I mean, God, crying over spilled milk. There's no reason to be doing that, is there? However, I broke down. I couldn't handle it at the moment. Whatever was going on was too much, and I was at the end of my rope, and it was a panic attack moment. And I've had many. I take medication to control it, like I said. The propranolol and gabapentin, at least, are daily medications that I take to control my anxiety. Those are daily. I take them no matter what. The Klonopin is more for emergency attacks. The other ones are mainly for palpitations and generalized anxiety disorder, which I have, as well as PTSD. I do have that, which is very fun and can be its own trigger. Trigger. I use that damn word. I hate that word. Can be its own subset of anxiety. Not trigger. God damn. It can be its own subset of anxiety because you don't know what might set you off. In the moment, anything could. I know a lot of people are used to hearing this from, veterans, things like that. People who've experienced, massive events in their life, and I've experienced a massive trauma that's left me with debilitating PTSD. I dream about it, I think about it, I act on those thoughts and feelings at times, and that's not fun, but that's what medication's for. So, so a little bit on my own anxiety, a little bit of what I take for it, and what my doctor has tried to figure out to be the right, medication variants for me. However, I don't know if we've gotten the right dosage yet for at least some of the medications. Not looking to get higher doses on the benzopine. However, I am looking to get a higher dose on my beta blocker medication for the chest poundy, poppy, flippiness. That's not fun, and I don't think anybody who's ever had that will. They will let you know that it is the worst feeling to have. And the sense of dread and doom that washes and encompasses your entire being while having anxiety is absolutely detestable and horrible to have to suffer through, because you don't think anything is going to be right, anything's ever going to settle. But once you're out of that moment, you realize how irrational you've been, and sometimes you feel a little silly. I know I have in the past. I've done some things while having either a panic attack or a very bad anxiety moment, and I just have to, stop myself and, realize that everything's going to be okay. Take a deep breath, and everything's going to be just fine. So, good luck to everybody out there. I thank you again for watching this video. That was just a little bit on anxiety. If I haven't touched on something that you'd like me to touch on, please let me know. Like, comment, subscribe. Really help out my channel right now, especially because I'm so small. I'm going to be trying to do a video at least 2-3 times a week. I think that would be doable. And so I thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one.